Hi, my name is Shivalika, and today I'm going to be interviewing you for my Modern Middle Eastern class regarding my digital media assignment. Do you approve and consent to be interviewed?
Yes, my name is Fatma Abubaker, and I do give you the consent to interview me.
So, what topic would you like to discuss today regarding Egypt?
I'd probably like to talk about the tourism and everything that, the tourist sites that are in Egypt.
So, out of all the things that you could talk about in Egypt, why did you choose tourism or travel as a topic to discuss with me today?
Well, Egypt is really known for its tourist attractions. It's one of the most common places that people go to when they want to visit the Middle East. It has a lot of different types of tourist attractions. It has it has the ancient type of historical ones, and then it has a lot of beaches and a lot of very I would want to say Miami looking kind of thing, but it's not really a lot of European countries do go and visit, but it's still underplayed kind of. Not a lot of people would expect Egypt to be as beautiful as it is. So that's one of the things that I find very interesting is how high the tourism is there, and that's why I chose the topic.
So why do you think tourism is a vital aspect of Egypt?
Well, tourism has always been actually one of the highest sources of revenue that Egypt gets because of how people do if you talk to anybody, they're always interested in finding out going to the Middle East, finding out how everything is over there. So I think it is very important because it does play a huge role in kind of how the country's structured. We do Egyptians in general do have a huge emphasis on tourism, so they have so many beautiful places that can that are made into being tourist attractions, so that's always why it's a vital role.
So for today, what tourist spot would you like to discuss that interests you the most?
So there is a place called Luxor in Aswan, and that is it's the historical one, so it's a historical tourist attraction. It's different from there's other places called Sharm el Sheikh or Hurghada, and these places are very it's all beaches and it's so pretty, but this one is very historical. And I chose to speak about it because I actually just went and visited it for the first time last year. It was just so different because everything you see there is made thousands and thousands, actually thousands of years ago, and to think that that's still there and within it's so beautiful. So it was just so interesting to go around and see how everything is still there. It's such a different aspect to see the historical vibe of Egypt. Not that many hotels, not it's not like that. What you do is you take a cruise in the Nile, and for 3 days you're on that cruise, and it takes you through these historical attractions. And there's a lot of temples from back then.
So can you specifically describe this place, how you remember it, as in what does it look like, what do you do there exactly, who goes there, and where is it located?
It's called Luxor in Aswan. I'm not exactly sure what the location would be, but that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm. Is it near a certain city?
It's near, I would say it's more near Cairo.
Okay.
It's an hour away, plane ride. Basically how it is that I said, so there's a lot of ancient history, so it's a lot of temples. When you go in and walk into all of them, there's the ancient when the calligraphy there, yeah. That's all it is. So when you walk in, that's how it is. Mm-hmm. You just see all this drawings. So when you're touring around it, you have a guide that explains everything historical about it. They tell you how long it took them to make this, or what these drawings mean, and it's so interesting to see that the drawings are still after thousands and thousands of years, they're still there, for example, or they're kind of they might be a little bit fading away, but it's still there. And then mainly that's what you do. So you go into them, you kind of walk around. There's kings and queens. They make where they're buried. It was very back then it's such a huge thing for them when a king and queen dies. And so then the way they make it's basically a huge room that they actually make to put in their basket, but the whole entire room is considered like their burial, like, so you're like, so we're able to go into it and see it, and it's just literally beautiful to like, they have everything drawn out historically, like of what that king did and all of that, and then you just see how much they like valued him. And because the obviously like back then they didn't know who to worship, or like they used to kind of worship sometimes their kings. We're there also, it's kind of like a poor area. So like if you do walk around, part of kind of like what gives it its feeling is that like when you do walk around, there's always a lot of like the people that actually live there, they're all around, they're always selling like little like necklaces that they made, or there's like horseback riding if you want over there. And also like you're like, mainly you just go and you're like taking pictures, just like looking at everything. They have like little shows too where they narrate like a story back like of when like the kings were alive, so they'll like actually like light up the whole temple, and like they'll start, and then you'll sit down and watch, and it'll be just like going on like everything that's happening. So it's so interesting, and there's like such different things to do all the time. And like I said, it's all done on a cruise, so even like throughout the whole time looking at the Nile, you're looking at all the little houses, and like they do have like small little houses that are like a little bit different from how they are in Egypt, so are like the normal like just like the main like aspect. So it's like really interesting to see how like they live.
Right. What do you think the message of this tourist spot is to Egypt as a country?
I mean, like a lot of the times, like if you think about Egypt, people associate it with like pyramids or Cleopatra or stuff like that. So I feel like even like going to these like attraction sites, it does add on to the history of Egypt. It really just gives it its value, because like I said, as much as like there are beautiful sites to it, Egypt is known to be a very historical, old, like ancient kind of thing. Sometimes when I talk to people, they literally think it's like still a desert or stuff like that. So it does add on to the fact of like just giving it its historical beauty and actually seeing that like up close.
Right. So you said that this place is really like, you know, you really like it, that's why you chose it for today. So does it mean anything to you personally, like on a personal note?
I mean, I did kind of like get more in touch with the historical aspect of Egypt. It's like you appreciate its beauty and like how much like history you come from or you see. So it is very like interesting to see it. So it kind of, that's why I felt like I really wanted to talk about it. Or sites where you don't feel like obviously like a personal connection to it, but like seeing your own history does make it a little bit more personal. Generally speaking, also like because of everything that has been happening in Egypt, so the tourism has gone down. When I did go, it was during the time where tourism wasn't at its like highest point. I went there, like I saw like you could just see it, and like the people that are working there, like their faces, how like they just really want you to buy from them, or like they really just like they're trying so hard, because like when they go from like having so many people that are so interested in seeing their stuff or like buying their stuff or like all of that, into like literally like back to poverty, not having anything because of how much they relied on tourism. It was really sad to see, but it also like kind of gives you that connection to be able to like, it's something that I remember.
So did you actually buy any of the souvenirs?
Yeah.
Good.
yeah. I bought a necklace. Actually, I bought a couple necklaces, and then they have like little medallions, and then I bought like they have like little scarves and like belly dancing stuff. So it's like I used to buy the things that I would want to actually get.
Right.
But sometimes you literally just want to like buy everything just because you feel so bad and like how much they want.
Well, you said it was like your first time going there. Mm-hmm. So what was your favorite thing that you did there, or like your favorite part of it?
So I would say like two things. It's being on the cruise in the Nile was definitely like one of the like most beautiful things, because like you literally just walk up and you can see like everything around you. Even just like being on the cruise, you can literally be seeing temples while you're like going through. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, it was the show that I talked about. It was really interesting because like you're not only just like seeing how everything is, but they're giving you like, it was like in like a specific voice that they're like like saying the story to make it seem like it's like an ancient type of story. So it was very cool to like see that and like see how like they also portray like the historical aspect to tourists that might not be knowing anything and like are trying to get educated about it.
So after you left Egypt, I know you went this summer and you had those memories from this place. Did it like impact your life in any way back in the United States?
Well, I would definitely say like when I came back, like I felt like I didn't want to come back. Obviously. No, but I felt like it was just you just get to see like. And when you go to that place, it's so different because you're kind of like, you are still getting the tourist attraction. And obviously if you're staying in a hotel, it's going to be very nice. But the way when you still go around the whole country and like see, I mean like the whole like place and see it, it kind of gives you an understanding of how like different people are living, and how like, you know, like it could be a beautiful tourist attraction, but it's still not as like polished as it is. And that's one of the things that also bothered me, is that they have so many beautiful and ancient stuff, but like in how the country is, it just doesn't preserve anything. Like, so it's not even trying to like people will like sit and like touch like everything, and like obviously when you touch it, it starts like fading away eventually when it's like been there for 1,000 years. So like that was one of the things that actually like very like really bothered me. And like to see like how, like an example in a museum here, how everything is done, like you can't even touch anything and you can't do anything. So I was like, I wish like they could actually apply that over there, because they just treat this like history as if it's nothing, because it's there, it's all over, it's a whole entire location that has everything in it. So that was one of the things that I actually like obviously like connected when I came back here. I was like, I can't believe they do that. But other than that, it is still kind of like, it just like lets you kind of just see your life in like a different perspective, and yeah, just get more connected with being Egyptian in general, and just like knowing your history is also good.
Yeah. So out of a scale from 1 to 10, how much would you recommend this to a friend to visit this place? 1 being the least, 10 being the most.
Like 10.
Yeah,
I would, so like that would be one of them. I always tell my friends, even the people that live there, I'm like, if you don't go there, like you literally have to go there. Like even for a person who lives in Egypt, it's not only like a tourist, like I feel like it's like everybody that even lives there should go and see how historical it is, and how beautiful like just history can be, like even if you're not really into history, because I'm not really that much into history, but like that place managed to just get me so interested in how everything was.
Well, it sounds like you had a blast there.
Yes.
Thank you, Fatma, for sitting through my interview. Your information was very helpful. So
no problem, and thank you for interviewing me.